Welcome to the Vantage Point, a place where we contemplate interesting topics that feature history and geography. In reality, if anything has ever existed in space, it has a history and a geography. That makes virtually any topic a possible target for us. Today we're continuing our pursuit of how Hollywood presents geography and history on film. Have you ever watched a movie and actually imagined what it would be like to walk in the shoes of the characters on the screen? It can be a great and fun escape. Sometimes, though, something is amiss in the story or setting that spoils a bit of the fun. When that happens, you know deep down inside you're on an impossible journey and you're not even a hobbit. A really good movie takes you away from your everyday world, your everyday life, and exposes you to some other place or some other time. And sometimes, for nostalgic reasons, I like to watch movies that are about familiar places and close to my heart. For me, that happens when I watch Coal Miner's Daughter, October Sky, or Sergeant York, the 1941 Oscar-winning film that starred Gary Cooper. In our last video, which you should watch if you haven't already, we took geography to Harrison Ford's The Fugitive and Robert Taylor's TV series Longmire. At the end of that session, I announced that I was going to explore Oh Brother Where Art Thou and the original Walking Tall this week. But then I realized that a significant portion of the human population was only in genetic codes when those movies were in the theaters. So, in addition to making me realize that I'm getting old, I decided to rethink that idea. Last month, I watched Liam Neeson's latest action film. It's called Cold Pursuit. It's a movie that centers around the actions, and there isn't a whole lot of dialogue, of a snowplow operator in a fictitious town in the Colorado Rockies. Neeson's character makes several commutes into Denver from the mountains. Because I drive into the metro Denver area every day from the Rockies, it was obvious to me that something was amiss. So I thought, let's take geography to Cold Pursuit. I hope you'll join me. The plot of the movie is a pretty basic story of revenge. You've likely seen it several times before in movies like John Wick, The Equalizer, Kill Bill, Unforgiven, and so on. In Cold Pursuit, we don't know much about Neeson's past, and we're not going to learn much because he's a man of few words. When he and his legal pot-smoking wife lose their only son to an illegal drug dealer who mistakenly killed him, Neeson goes on an action-filled rampage of revenge. At this point in the movie, he was reminding me of his 2008 doppelganger, Brian Mills. I fully expected him to make a phone call to the illegal drug dealer and say these words: "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. I can tell you I don't have any money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you bring my son back to life, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you." Alas, no such call was made, but he did kill the drug dealer. Sadly, his wife left him, but he didn't even seem to care. Poor woman. No wonder she smoked grass while cooking supper. Let's focus on what was right and wrong about the geography in The Cold Pursuit. First off, the movie wasn't even filmed in Colorado. Much of it was shot in British Columbia, over 1,000 miles northwest of the state. The mountain scenes were shot in Alberta. Both movie and real locations are in mountainous places, but their differences in latitude make for some interesting differences between reality and what's shown in the movie. In the resort areas of Breckenridge and Aspen, for instance, the tree line is around 11,000 to 12,000 feet above sea level. So most of the nearby mountains are either at tree line or just above it. You can see this in the pictures of Breckenridge and Aspen. In the movie, though, the tree line is not much higher than the ski resort town. Let's move on to the roads. Now, the snow and road scenes are not very accurate either. Several scenes in the movie show Neeson plowing through snow that's as high as the machine he's driving. But in Colorado, the state considers roads like that impassable and closes them for the season. That's why the Overlook Hotel in the 1980 movie The Shining needed Jack Torrance to serve as a caretaker while it was closed. Tree lines aside, some of the town scenes look pretty realistic. I have a vehicle that looks a lot like the one Neeson's character drives into Metro Denver, but that's where our common experiences depart from each other. Take a look at these pictures from the movie. Denver is sitting out there on the high plains all by itself. Neeson is 3.5 miles from Denver, and you can see the front range of the Rockies on the left. If we apply a little geography to the scene, we realize that for us to see Denver in front of us and the front range to the left of us, we're driving north. The Great Plains then would stretch out to the east or right in the scene. The Rockies and presumably the character's home lie to the west beyond the front range. Why would he drive into Denver from the south? Not once, but twice. He would be coming in on I-70 or Highway 285 from the west. Those are 4-lane highways with heavy traffic, even at night. In the movie, there are no other cars on that 2-lane road that he uses to come into Denver. I'm pretty sure that the tens of thousands of people who commute into Denver from the Rockies every day would like to find that route. 3.5 miles south of Denver would place our hero in the city of Littleton, Sheridan, or Greenwood Village. The rural landscape south of Metro Denver doesn't materialize until well past Highlands Ranch. Take a look at this picture. This is what the landscape looks like 20 miles south of the Denver city limits. Despite these observations, Cold Pursuit is an action-packed film that's good for a few chuckles. Yes, that's right. It's considered to be a black comedy, but the only laughs I had occurred when our hero disposed of corpses. The body disposal site is a fast-flowing mountain river. I'm not sure if the producer intended for me to laugh at this point in the film, but I had a little chuckle here and there. That's because the only time rivers in the Rockies of Colorado have that much flowing water in them is in a late spring when the snow up in the mountains is rapidly melting. From the depth of the snow and the apparent cold in the scene, the river and the waterfall would be frozen. Despite missing the geographic mark throughout much of the film, I recommend Cold Pursuit to anyone who likes a rollicking shoot-'em-up. I understand that this will be Liam's last action film. That too is a sign of the passage of time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time when we take Geography to Hollywood to explore The Day After Tomorrow. See you then.